There's been a lot of discussion lately in the raid community regarding spending real cash in the game, Plarium's level of greed, and the never-ending chase for the top in a game without end. Hey guys, Finally He Sleeps here, back with another video on my new raid channel. Tonight we're going to react to MacChan's latest video explaining why he decided to leave raid. But more so, I'm going to give my perspective on the game and why so many of us have migrated here to raid Shadow Legends from other games, because understanding that should give more background into my current mindset on all of this. First though, make sure you subscribe here at my new home on YouTube for all things raid. This channel is still in its infancy, and after I decided to split my main channel into smaller niche channels, so something as simple as subscribing makes a big difference here as we try to grow this into something large enough to compete with and hopefully overtake my main channel.
I'm not gonna say I'm gonna quit completely and never come back. It's not like that, but I decided to at least take a long break from the game. It is a hard decision to make, to be honest, because I played this game for almost 4 years, and I grew my channel from scratch because of Raid Shadow Legends. So I want to thank all you guys for your support.
So if you're unfamiliar with MacChan, he's a well-known whale in the raid community. He's considered one of the top players in the game as well. He's very high in the leaderboards. His channel is mostly guides and champ builds and such. He's just another top-tier community member who's recently quit Raid Shadow Legends or decided to step away, whether it be temporarily or for good.
I'm just gonna give you my very honest opinion. The biggest reason is I kind of don't want to spend anymore. Just to be honest, alright? As you guys probably know, if you watch my old content, I was a huge spender. I was a huge spender. And I think the maximum I have spent in a month was like 2,000 bucks.
I keep seeing these types of videos pop up from people that I follow in the community, and it's usually because they're tired of the constant chasing the game to be the top and the best, and the expense that is required to maintain those levels, which I get, sort of. I don't understand the spending in the game, though. I don't know. I'll come back to that. I mean, it's just I don't quite get it.
It's crazy. It's not like top Kraken level, but it's crazy. And I spent a lot of money. I can probably buy a car with that money, a decent car. So I just don't want to do that anymore, because start from earlier this year, I just feel like I have to spend, not to progress, but I have to spend just to keep up. I have to spend close to 1,000 bucks a month trying to keep up.
$1,000 a month to keep up. So here's where I'm going to veer off the reaction to MacChan for a minute. I've been on YouTube and Twitch since December of 2018. So this is almost like a 5-year journey for me. But it didn't begin in Raid. It started in FIFA Mobile, where I still create most of my content on my main YouTube channel. That's the game that I've spent what feels like a lifetime playing and striving for like top tier status. But after a few years in a seasonal game where things reset and everyone is forced to you start over when the new version of the game comes out every year, because it's a seasonal game, it's a sports game. You know, everyone starts over. The idea of instead playing an open-ended game where new content, new champions, you know, new dungeons, new bosses are constantly being added in a game that's super complex, fun, addictive, math-based, with like countless opportunities to expand and grow, just feels so outside what we're used to that playing, when we're playing Raid. And shifting from FIFA Mobile over to this style of game is much less of like, why would I do this? And more like, why did it take me so long to try out, like a gacha game? The reason I started making content for FIFA Mobile in the first place was in reaction to one of my league mates. I talked about this on Twitch the other day. I had a league mate in the game who was quitting. This was back in 2018, like the mid 2018, because he confessed to us that he had spent over $50,000 in the game over the course of a season, which was about a year, trying to build like his highest ranked team possible because he wanted to be in the top in the leaderboard, and is opening thousands of packs trying to find the best players in the game. Yet at that time, me and multiple other guys in the league had very similar teams, and we'd spent very little at all, if anything. And the difference was we came at the game through a different avenue. We looked at the market, and then we manhandled the game through the market in a way where we could farm enough in-game currency to simply buy the players we wanted without spending any in real life cash opening packs and letting like that pack luck rule our gameplay. That's why I started this YouTube journey to begin with, to show how you could beat their system without spending any of your hard-earned money. Switching over to Raid, it's been the same thing for me. How far can I push the game without spending any cash?
I have to spend close to $1,000 a month trying to keep up, all right? Because I want to compete in arena. I'm not even like looking for finish in number 1 because it's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. I don't have these champions. That's a really sad part. I have to spend close to $1,000 a month just to stay in top 20, and I just don't want to do that anymore. And if you guys watch my old Sharpo videos, I just had insanely bad luck. Like ever since these two were released, I spent a lot of money. And well, not that much compared to back in, let's say 2020 or 2021, but I still spent a lot. I probably pulled roughly 700 to 800 void shards after these two were released, and mostly during their 10x. And I just did not get them. So it was really unlucky. And I am missing so many meta champions. And this one also, Harima. I pulled tons of shards. I remember I had like 60,000 gems before a Harima 10x event. And I spent all of that and did not get Harima. Alright. And I remember, like, if we have to go back a little bit further, last year, I believe there was a 2x Ancient Shard event coinciding with 10x Kymar. So basically, Kymar 20x event. Prince Kymar. I pulled 1,500 Ancient Shards for 20x Kymar, and I did not get a single copy.
Now, my initial reaction to this kind of mentality in the game is kind of shock. And we're not seeing anything in this video that I don't hear constantly. And I mean, there's a level of frustration that you get with any kind of gacha game, or just the whole anything that's got luck involved in it. So yeah, my initial reaction to this is it's shock, because personally I've never really been into spending cash for game content, especially in a game like Raid, which is based around the gacha mechanic of pack luck. In FIFA Mobile, there's a market, which is what drew me to the game initially. For me, it's a stock market game that also involves football. Raid is completely different in the sense that there's no market where you can buy the champions you want or need. Your game experience is both hindered by and amplified because of your pack luck. And because of that, most players base everything off of the notion that they have to spend cash to compete, which is how the game stays alive, and Plarium can afford to keep all of their developers on staff and constantly updating the game, which is fantastic. You know, the reason so many of these creators and whales are quitting is because they're getting fed up with what they see as their bad luck when it comes to opening packs. They're spending an insane amount of cash to either compete with other players who are spending an insane amount of cash to always be at the top of the mountain. I'm not calling anybody out, you know, any of these creators or whales, you know, for their decisions. But it's one thing to say I can't keep creating content for this game because it requires me to spend more money than I'm making to create content that people want to continue to watch. I mean, that's a real problem. That's stuff that we face in FIFA Mobile. But it's another thing to say I'm no longer creating content because I'm spending too much money and not getting the champions I want or I need. I'm spending too much money and I still can't reach platinum level or whatever. I'm spending too much money and I still, you know, not claiming all of the rewards in the event. It's, you know, that doesn't matter. That's not a raid problem. That's an all game problem. Because if that is the issue, and that's why you're quitting creating content or quitting playing a game, then the game probably isn't the problem. That's not the problem. It's a gambling problem. The game is just your casino. Now, I've always been the guy who pushes back against everything. It's in my nature. If everyone is going that way, I'm going to go that way. I like being the rock in the river that everyone has to move around. My channel has kind of always been an extension of that too. You know, for video games, and actually there's the other channel on the car stuff. It's the same thing. If I can disrupt the system in one way or another, I'm going to. And the content that I put out is all about disrupting things. You know, it's free to play guides, how you can enjoy the game without spending any cash, complete the fusions without spending any cash. Yes, there's always pack luck involved, but when you embrace that in the game, and instead of competing with the whales, you focus on competing against the game itself, then, you know, if the game wants me to spend cash, then that's the last thing I'm doing. It changes it. It becomes a different game. It's the game of what can I do to succeed without doing what I'm expected to do. Raid's a game without end. There's always going to be a new milestone to reach, and there's always going to be a new champion that you need to hope for. You know, it's luck. It's luck based. You've got to accept that. You've got to understand that. And yeah, if you spend $100 on shards to open, could you pull one of the top champions? Yeah, you could. I mean, obviously. But more likely, you're going to end up feeling like you didn't spend quite enough, or you'll be disgusted that you spent anything at all. I mean, we all have vices. Many of us have addictions. My advice is, if you're dropping a ton of money into any game, whether it's Raid or FIFA Mobile or Candy Crush, consider whether there's a bigger problem, such as a gambling addiction, and then seek help if you need to. It's your money. I mean, spend it however you want to. I mean, I'm all for that. But maybe consider what's more beneficial to you in the long run. Forest for the trees. $1,000 on a video game, or take a weekend trip. I mean, there's ways to enjoy this game without spending cash. There's ways to play any game without spending cash. And if the game is designed to get you to spend your cash, consider pushing back. Go against the grain. Give to the needy. Do something for your own health. Support a local artist. Support any artist. Invest in a GoFundMe. Pay for a sub over on, you know, for a Twitch streamer in the game that you're playing. There's so many things you can do. Then spend in the game if you still want to. I mean, I'm all in on Raid. Not with my money, but with my commitment. This is everything I've been missing in the last couple of years in FIFA. I know it's an open-ended game, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I know there's no market to strong arm, and competing free-to-play is going to be tough, but I'm good with that too. Again, though, this is just my opinion. You know, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. There's nothing wrong with spending money however you want to, even on video games. But if you think you may have a problem, seek help, because it's out there. I mean, that's it. We've traveled pretty far down this rabbit hole. If this info was helpful, or at the very least entertaining, make sure you subscribe here at YouTube. Turn on notifications so you never miss when a video goes live. It's here on my Raid channel for YouTube. It's free, and it does make a difference. I'm FinallyHeSleeps. As long as you guys keep tuning in, I'll keep making videos. Thanks for watching. If you haven't noticed, my YouTube channel has expanded. Subscribe here for Raid Shadow Legends content, but make sure you check out my other channels as well for EA Sports FC, Everything Automotive over at Gearheads, and visit Cringeworthy for a few laughs. Subscribe links are right over there.